cracking, everybody. So, new video. And the last video I did briefly at the end touched on a little bit of politics, right? State politics. But state and federal politics, mainly state politics, affect our daily lives more, I think, right? Something I wanted to bring up was history always repeats itself. History is constantly repeating itself. Our ancestors were good at predicting a lot of things because they recorded things, right? And us with our technology, we have it easier to have stuff recorded, but we're not really paying attention for the most part. And so we when things happen, we want to act surprised, and we are surprised, right? But if we were to study and pay attention to history, then we would see that, hey, this was bound to happen. So I don't remember the exact time, but this country was caught up in a Cold War for, 50 years or whatever it was. And they called it a Cold War because it wasn't armies facing off. It wasn't militaries facing off directly. I mean, on the unders, there were proxy wars. The Soviets were, using other people to get America tangled up in shit. And you look at Afghanistan and the Taliban and all them, the United States through the CIA was actually using them to harass the Soviet Union, and that actually did the Soviet Union in. That became their Vietnam, and their economy wasn't strong enough for them to survive that type of war. And so I made this comment in response to someone else's comment earlier in another video, but I wanted to make sure I put a video out about it. And it's a term that I want to say, a cold revolution. You look at Europe, and you look at all the revolutions they had. You even look at Mexico, their revolutions. And you look south of the United States and all the revolutions that have happened in all those countries. The United States is so fucking smart. They pay attention to everything, man. And so that's why they're not worried about Canada. Canada is like USA light. No disrespect to people out there. I know I got a couple subscribers in Canada. But the United States government is concerned with south of the border. And so they foment so much violence in those countries, and they destabilize with the CIA. They destabilize the countries because they know that through history, when you look at Europe and all the European countries, for the most part, are bordered by another country that's a potential rival back in the days. And so the United States knows to destabilize the countries south of the border is to hinder their military and hinder their economy so that they do not become a threat to them. They don't want to have a threat on their front door, right? Now, understanding that, again, back to what I was talking about as far as the cold revolution, I honestly believe that we are in the midst of a revolution in this country, but it's a cold revolution. It's not going to be where the generals are going to go against the executive branch and have a hostile takeover or anything like that. What it is you've got two parties that are in power, that are recognized to where really the independents can't really, it's locked between these two parties. And they fucking hate each other's guts so much that they try to handcuff each other at every turn. And what that does, they still get their money. They still, because they've brainwashed their constituents, they still get reelected. And so when the things that they do, the tit for tat that these politicians are doing, I'm talking on the federal level, which affects our states. What they're doing doesn't affect them, it affects us. And and I just, I honestly can't stand the Democratic Party. That's just my view. I really, really, really hate that people of color, brown, black, Asian, whatever. I hate that poor people are still believing that the Democrats are going to get us out of being poor. We are going to get ourselves out of being poor. We are going to get ourselves out of these situations. We can't say that personal responsibility and personal accountability in our lives is what will get us, out of being a criminal or but then expect the government. It has to go across. It has to be in every facet of your life, understanding that you are accountable. And when you know you're accountable, then you can't look to, for the people, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but for the people that use the programs that the Democrats are pushing for government aid, but yet you can work. And I'm not speaking as for the Republicans or anything like that. I'm speaking for, no, I'm good, thank you. My dream would be, and it would never happen, but my dream would be that every person of color in this country, especially poor, matter of fact, not even just people of color, every person in this country that's poor was to say, you know what? I'm registering as an independent. The ripple that would cause in government would be a nuke to them. That would be a nuclear weapon. That would be a nuclear bomb going off on the Democrats. And not to destroy the party, but to make them say to themselves, fuck, how do we get that vote back? And make Republicans realize, wait a minute, maybe if we start doing certain things, we can get that vote. And so you would have the two biggest parties, only parties that matter, saying, okay, now let's fight for that vote. As things are now, as they've been, the Democrats talk sweet, but don't do shit. They keep us, we keep ourselves poor, but by doing the same thing over and over, that's the definition of insanity. The Democrats aren't doing anything to get us out of poverty. Sure, they create all these programs, but these programs, they affect other things. They affect other things in the budget that could help us in many other ways. We need to get to a place where everyone applies that personal accountability in every aspect and every facet of their life and say, you know what, I'm gonna get myself out of this, but I'm gonna hold these fucking politicians accountable. I'm not gonna have them take me for granted. Nobody wants to be taken for granted in their personal relationships, whether it's with their old lady, their old man, their brother, their sister, their kid, anybody. Nobody likes to be taken for granted, yet every election we're taken for granted. These people know they just have to say the things that people want to hear, and it's bullshit, man. At some point, people need to open their eyes and say, you know what? We're not getting nothing out of this. There's got to be a different way. There's got to be a way where we shake that tree. You know what I mean? And see what falls out of it. So I got to keep this short. It's already long enough as it is. But you guys be safe out there, man.